Joe Theisman, world champion quarterback and entrepreneur, and I'm having the pleasure of sitting down with Andy Watson. Now, Andy is into real estate, and you're into it big time. I mean, you have jumped in with both feet. When did you get started in real estate?
I actually got started in high school. My parents bought their first rental house and they wanted me to learn what was going on with it. So I was there from signing the paperwork to being the guy that helps carry all the tools, fixing it up, and being part of the rental process. And I've been doing it ever since.
Now, how old are you now, Andy?
I'm 32.
So basically, for the last 15 years, give or take, you've been in real estate.
Correct.
We've seen the peaks and the valleys of real estate as it's gone along. What intrigued you about getting involved in real estate?
You know, there's a few different things. I mean, to me, it's just such a challenge. And one of the things that I do have, one of the programs that I have is called the Perfect Selling System for Underwater Houses. So essentially, people that are upside down on their mortgages that are underwater per se, most of the time, we can actually go in with no money out of their pocket, get them out of it and take over the property. Nothing goes against their credit. It helps their credit and help them move on from there.
How did you evolve into this program?
Well, essentially, I've just kind of found other real estate investors and kind of attached to them and took some classes on how to invest. And I actually became a realtor for a while to learn how to invest, just so I could learn the basis all while I was doing my air traffic control job.
So you were an air traffic controller?
I was for 7 years.
No kidding.
Yes.
Stressful from what I understand.
It's the right personality.
Is it less stressful than being a real estate person?
At times, yes.
At times, yeah, I guess both of them have their moments.
They do.
What would you say to people out there if they're, as they look at this video and we sit and we visit, about someone like yourself, an expert in that field? How important is it to have someone that really understands the business?
You know, it's everything. I mean, because I've actually seen people go and pick somebody that they trusted but didn't have the expertise in that aspect of the real estate transaction that they were going after. And they actually end up losing their home to foreclosure just because of the way it all worked out. So whatever you do, you need to find the expert with whichever part of real estate you're doing. Just because somebody's in real estate doesn't mean they specialize in what you're trying to accomplish.
Do you do all aspects of real estate?
You know, I do not do all aspects. I have my certain niches.
What are your niches and specialties?
Well, I do both commercial and residential, first off. For the residential stuff, we work with homeowners that don't want their properties, that can't sell their properties, stuff along those lines. So we have done the fix and flips. I have rental houses and all that kind of stuff. For the commercial side, we're interested, one of our favorite things is actually mobile home parks.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
I think you're the first person I've talked to that has talked about mobile home parks.
They're wonderful properties. And the crazy part is you can actually most people don't realize this because there's such a stigma attached to mobile homes.
Yeah.
But you can actually get marble countertops, the granite stuff. You can get maple. Mobile homes, I've seen mobile homes that are more luxurious than your typical stick-built home.
I've been in some of my buddies are in the entertainment industry, and I've been in some of their mobile homes.
Yep.
I'm thinking about moving in. I mean, I kept saying, where's my room?
Yeah.
Where is it? But it's that outside the box thinking I think that people are interested in, because the classic to me is commercial residential. I mean, that's when I think of real estate, and a third would be land.
Right.
Those three elements of real estate would be the things I was thinking of. But it would take someone like you who's around the business, understands the business, say, well, have you ever thought about mobile homes?
Right.
Have you ever thought about that particular part of it? As you look at the different elements, where do you see the most growth opportunity from a real estate standpoint?
Well, the most growth, right now, the big thing that everybody's going into right now is apartment complexes. And the reason being is because there are now more renters in the market than there are home buyers because of how things are. And after the bubble busted and people went through the traumatizing experience of being foreclosed on, there's so many people that don't ever want to own a property ever again.
I can understand that.
And due to that, that's why you're starting to see a lot of apartment complexes being built. That's why people are moving into the mobile home parks and stuff like that. And I love apartment complexes too. The three things that we're interested in commercial are the mobile home parks, the apartment complexes, and also strip malls, because they're small enough you can actually do a lot of different things with them.
What do you do with a strip mall? Because, for example, I know I live in Memphis, Tennessee, and I notice that somebody will build a strip mall. It won't be that big. I mean,
Right.
it's maybe 10 stores,
Yeah.
10 large, small stores, whatever,
I've seen as little as 2.
and it's a strip mall. How do you get something out of that? I mean, it's already in a strip mall, everybody's gone. How do you utilize that as a useful piece of property or an investment that makes money?
Well, it all depends. A lot of strip malls right now, they're great properties in the aspect structure-wise. They're in a good location, but they're kind of run down, kind of like a residential property that you would go and flip.
Yeah.
Give it a little bit of a facelift, get good tenants in there, and all of a sudden you have a thriving area all over again that you didn't have just before, and it works out.
So you basically adhere to the theory, like we'll take the Field of Dreams, build it and they will come.
And they will.
And you've seen those results. You've
I
seen
have.
those opportunities come
Yes.
about. Wow. What would you like to tell people about real estate investing?
You know, real estate investing, like you said, it has its peaks and its valleys. That's with any investment. But my opinion is it is one of the most secure investments you can get into if you do it right. If you go and put your money in the stock market with a broker, you have zero control over it. Mm-hmm. If you do not go and get educated on how to invest in real estate, you're essentially doing the same thing. You're going out and you're putting your money in something that you have no clue what's going to end up happening. So at that point, if you want to invest, find somebody that you can partner up with that does have the experience and the expertise, or go get the education and get it done for yourself.
Well, from a real estate standpoint, what do you look at from a good return on an investment? Let's say, I see you smiling about it because I'm sure you get that question a lot. Hey, if I'm going to invest in real estate, what kind of money am I going to get out of it?
It all depends. I mean, it literally all depends. I mean, there's been some returns. If you want a long-term thing where you're going and buying a rental house, a single-family home, and planning on renting it out for the next 30 years, you may only be looking at maybe 6 to 8% return. Now,
annually?
Yes, annually.
Okay.
Now, on the flip side, the other aspect of my business that I do, I also buy non-performing bank loans. So it's cheaper for the banks to sell the loan to me than it is for them to go through the foreclosure process.
Right.
Some of those I've actually seen 40, 50% returns.
In 1 year?
In 1 year.
In 1 year. It's interesting. It sounds like as we've talked about a lot of different elements and aspects of real estate, you tend sometimes not to think about the lending part of it. You automatically think of a bank or mortgage company that's where the money can be. Mm-hmm. You provide that service as well. You basically are a one-stop shop when it comes to real estate for people that are interested in securing loans or have a situation they want to try and get out of or need a property that needs work or one where people aren't.
Right.
Do you ever find a situation where somebody comes to you and says, we have this strip mall, we're doing okay, but would you be interested in trying to make it better for us?
Oh, most definitely.
Really?
I mean,
So it isn't just a property that's depressed, to close down, shut down. No, it's like it's an operating entity right now and you can go in and help them.
And that's a beautiful thing about commercial real estate. It's one of those things where you're dealing with other investors, so they understand the name of the game. So everything is priced as such. So I can go in and buy a strip mall that has all the tenants in there, great tenants, whatever, and the fair market value for that works for the numbers that I need for myself and my investors.
That's great. Andy,
So,
thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Hey, where can people find you? Let them know.
You can find me on my website at watsonlandings.com, so www.watsonlandings.com.
Thanks, Andy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.